home, in this video I will be going over today's math lesson. It begins 9-6 and it's on page 353. Before I get started on this math lesson, however, I want everybody to just sit down their pencils, put their eyes up on the screen, because I want to go over a couple things from our homework yesterday. Okay? Well, I guess it was 2 days ago, but it was due yesterday. So, most of you did excellent on that homework. Most of you got 100% or maybe just 1 or 2 silly mistakes. But a few of you still seem to be a little bit confused about that make a 10. And so I want to go over those problems with you just so that if you or your parents were a little confused about it, you'll understand, okay? I know Emma was one that came in with a note. Her mom said we were a little confused, and so I pulled Emma aside and we went over it together, and now she's like a rock star at making 10s. So sometimes you just need a little bit extra explanation, and it helps. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to look here at problem number 1 on the math homework was 15, take away 6. And so I'm going to write that here on my handy-dandy whiteboard. Okay, so let me get this folded up so that I can have both on the screen here. So 15 minus 6. And we're trying to figure out what that equals. Now, the direction said make a 10 to solve. So what that means when it says make a 10 is we have 15 here, which is 1 10 and 5 ones. But we want to isolate that 10. We want to get a 10 all by itself. So, Emma, what would I have to take away from 15 to get the 10 all by itself? The 5. So for this first part where it says 15 take away blank equals blank, what they're wanting you to do there is say, if I take away 5, 15 take away 5, oh, this marker doesn't even work. Chuck that in the chuck it bucket. If I take away 5, now I've made my 10. I followed the directions which said make a 10 to solve. But I'm not done yet, and here's why. 6 is what I'm supposed to be taking away, not 5. But I've already taken away 5. So now, if I take this 6, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I've already taken away 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, goodbye. How many do I have left that I still need to take away, Blake? 1. So now it's saying you've made your 10, you got there, you followed directions and made a 10, but you still have a number that you need to take away. So 10 take away 1 equals what, Emily? 9. So if 15 take away 5 is 10, and then we take from that 10 another 1, now we've taken away 6, haven't we? Because 5 and 1 is 6. So if 10 take away 1 equals 9, then our final answer says, so 15 take away 6 must equal, everyone, 9. That is what they mean when they say make a 10. Some of you, I saw you just like made up your own problems, like 10 minus 5 equals 5. And hey, that's cool, but that's not what you were supposed to do, okay? So I want to try one more with you just to, again, make sure that you really understand it now, because you will see that on the test, make a 10. And I want to make sure, Isaac, that you know what you're doing, okay? So let's look at number 2 on the homework. Beckett, did you have a question?
Yeah, like, I didn't really, because I forgot to do it the night, so I had to do it the morning all by myself, and I just did that.
Well, you got 100% on it, so you must have understood it. Okay? All right, so the next one here says 17 minus 9. So I'm going to write that out. 17 minus 9 equals question mark. And then we have these other problems here. 17 minus some number equals some number. 10 minus some number equals some number. So 17 minus 9 has to equal some number. So it gets a little confusing knowing what to fill in there. So I'm going to remind you. Unfortunately, Austin and Johnny just lost a point because not only are they talking, but they had their masks down and they weren't social distancing. So I'm going to have to take a point away from Dojo. All right. Looking here, 17 minus 9. I want to make a 10. So what can I do to get this 17 all by itself? How can I make 17 a 10? Emma's the only one that knows. Sage, what can I do? Take away the 7. You got it. So 17 take away 7 would give us 10. We did it. We made a 10. But we're not done yet, and here's why. They want us to take away 9, not 7. So we've already taken away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But we still have 8, 9, 2 more that we have to take away. So now that we have our 10, Emily, how many more should I put on this line that we still need to take away? 2 more. What is 10 minus 2, Emily? 8. So if 17 minus 7 is 10, and then 10 minus 2 is 8, that means that 17 minus 9 must be 8. So all we've done is broken the 17 minus 9 into 2 separate problems. You see how we did that? That's what they mean when they say make a 10. So when you see that on your test, don't get confused. Just remember, get the 10 by itself. Make a 10 and then subtract the remaining amount. Okay? All right. So a lot of you did fine on that, but if you were still a little confused, hopefully that helped clear it up. So now let's go back in our math books to page 353. We're talking about fact families again. And I know that you guys, back in the fall time when we started working on fact families, you were rock stars. The only difference was we had smaller sums for our fact families. Now we're going to have bigger sums. In fact, we're going to go all the way up to 20 now instead of just up to 10 or 12, okay? So it says here that Miss Rowland asked her class to use the numbers 7, 9, and 16 to make 4 number sentences. The number sentences can show addition or subtraction. The numbers 7, 9, and 16 make a fact family. Remember this, boys and girls. Just like I told you before, members in a family stay the same. So if our numbers are 7, 9, and 16, these are the only numbers that can appear in my fact family. I can't have any other numbers. Now, 8 and 8 equals 16, but do you see an 8 or an 8 in this fact family? So am I going to write down 8 plus 8 equals 16? No, because for this fact family, I have to stick to 7, 9, and 16. Once you know your 3 numbers, honestly, it kind of just becomes a game, what I like to call plug and chug, because you know that you're coming up with 2 addition sentences and 2 subtraction sentences, and you're using those same numbers for all 4 sentences. So, I know that in addition, it's part, whole. So it'll be 2 small numbers equal a big number. So who can give me 1 addition sentence using 7, 9, and 16? Drew?
9 plus 7 equals 16.
9 plus 7 equals 16. That works. That's correct. I need another addition sentence. It has to be different. Blake? To make 16 using 7, 9, and 16. Beckett, help him out. 7 plus 9 equals 16. Remember, with addition, we can flip-flop our add-ins, and we get the same sum. So there's our 2 addition. Now we need 2 subtraction. Jacob, I want to remind you, your subtraction sentences will always start with the biggest number, because in subtraction, we start big, and then we break it apart. So automatically, right off the get, you can take the biggest number, Brooklyn, and plug it in as the first number of your subtraction sentences. So what is the biggest number between 7, 9, and 16, Brooklyn? 16. So for both of the subtraction sentences, you can plug in 16 because you know that they have to start with the biggest number. Now, Lily, could you complete the first subtraction sentence for us? 16 take away 9 equals 7. Good job. Can somebody give me the last number sentence in our fact family, Amelia?
16 minus 7
Equals?
9.
You got it, girlfriend. 16 minus 7 equals 9. Now let's take a look real quick. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 number sentences, 2 addition, 2 subtraction. All 3 of them have a 9, a 7, and a 16, and all 4 of them are true. Here we flip-flopped our addends, 2 parts flip-flopped. Here we flip-flopped our parts with our difference being one or the other. So we have our big number as the whole at the beginning of the subtraction, and our big number as the whole at the end of our addition. And by whole, I mean total, not whole like a hole in your knee of your pants. All right, so now that we've reviewed fact families here, we're going to take a look down at number 2 in the practice area. And the reason we're going to look at number 2 is because they already did number 1 for you, so there's no sense reinventing the wheel. All right, so here, who can tell me for number 2, what are the 3 numbers in my fact family? What are the 3 numbers? Brooklyn?
8,
8, 6, and 14. So all of my sentences, all 4 of them, have to have an 8, a 6, and a 14. They've given us the first one. It's addition. They said 8 plus 6 equals 14. Serafina, what would the other addition sentence look like for those 3 numbers?
8.
We already have 8 plus 6. 6 plus 8 equals 14. Excellent. Now, both of my subtraction sentences have to start with my biggest number, Victoria. So what are my subtraction sentences both going to start with? 14. So I can plug in right now 14 for both of my subtraction sentences as the first number because our subtraction has to start with the biggest and then break it down to the smallest. Beckett, can you give me one of the subtraction sentences for those numbers?
14 minus 8 equals 6.
You got it. 14 minus 8 equals 6. And Brooklyn, could you give us the last one?
So 14 minus 6 equals 8.
You got it. All 4 sentences have an 8. All 4 sentences have a 6. And all 4 sentences have a 14. Our addition sentences end with the big number. Our subtraction sentences start with the big number. We got all of them correct. Let's turn the page now. I will work through this one with you, and then I'll have you do this one on your own to test your skills. Don't let it scare you, Blake. All they did was turn the problems tall instead of side by side. It's the same format, so we use the same numbers, okay? So our numbers are 8, 7, and 15. So for the first one, they gave us 8 plus 7, so we know the missing number is our big number, the 15. Can somebody give me the other addition sentence for 8, 7, and 15? Faith?
7
Plus 8 equals 15. You got it. Now I know these two are going to be subtractions. You can plug in your subtraction sign there. And I know that they both have to start with the biggest number. So what will it be, Dominic?
8 plus 7.
Oh, no, we're doing subtraction now. I need the biggest number. What's the biggest number? 15. So both of my subtraction are going to start with a 15, Dominic. Good job. Chase, can you give me the first subtraction?
7.
15 minus 7 equals
8.
8. Andrew, can you give me the second one?
15 minus minus 8 equals 7.
You got it. All of my problems have all three numbers. All of them are true. That one is correct. Right now, friends at home, I want you to pause the video and I want you to work through this one on your own. Friends in the classroom, while our friends at home are working through it on their own, I want you to work through it on your own. And in just a few minutes, you can unpause the video and I will go over the answers with you. We're looking at 4, 7, and 11. We know we need 2 addition and 2 subtraction. And you can solve on your own. Go ahead and do that right now. All right, so friends at home and friends here in the classroom, very quickly, I want you to check over your work. You should have had 7 plus 4 equals 11. Your other sentence should be 4 plus 7 equals 11. Your subtraction, you should have 11 at the top of both. One of them should say 11 minus 4 is 7. The other one should say 11 minus 7 is 4. For these ones, it didn't matter if you did 11 minus 7 is 4 or 11 minus 4 is 7 first. The only one it mattered for were these ones because they already gave you 7 plus 4. So check that over right now. Make sure you got them all correct. If you did, give it a smiley face or a star. And now we're going to look at the problem solving. It says, John used the numbers 8, 2, 3, and 11 to make a fact family. One of those numbers does not belong. Which number doesn't belong? Tell me how you know. What number doesn't belong, Sage?
11.
Well, why would it be 11? I'm not saying you're right or wrong. You got to tell me why. Help her out, Connor.
3.
He says 3. Why would it be 3? He means 2. So he knows that 8 plus
3 equals 11.
Yes.
But 8 plus 2 equals 10.
Right. So 8 plus 2 equals 10. So the 2 can't work. So 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 minus 3 is 8. 3 plus 8 is 11. And 11 minus 8 is 3. But this 2 doesn't fit into that family. So it's 2. So what number doesn't belong? 2. How do we know? Because it doesn't fit the pattern for fact families. Okay? All right, we're going to skip the right about it. We're going to go right to the top of page 355. Again, here they're showing you the fact family for 7, 9, and 16. They did number 1 for you, so you don't have to work that one out. If you want to trace them, you may. But right now, on your own, I want you to plug and chug, do 2 and 3. And then in just a few minutes, we will check it. So friends at home, go ahead and pause. Work through 2 and 3, and then unpause, and we'll go over the answers together. All right, so we're going to check over our work now. Remember, your addition sentences can be in either order as long as you have both. So you can have 8 plus 5 equals 13 here, and 5 plus 8 equals 13 there, or you can have them flip-flopped. You could have 5 plus 8 equals 13 first, and then 8 plus 5 equals 13 second. So as long as you have 8 and 5 is 13 and 5 and 8 is 13, those are correct. For your subtraction sentences, both of them should start with 13. And then you can have 13 minus 8 is 5 and 13 minus 5 is 8. Or you can have 13 minus 5 is 8 here and 13 minus 8 is 5 there. As long as you have those 4 problems, you are correct. Victoria's face is like, holy cannoli, I did it. I'm so proud of you. If you got them all right, give yourself a star or a smile or both if you feel like it. And now let's take a look down here. I think they tried to trick us with some bigger numbers, but we're smarter than that. So you should have 2 addition sentences. 4 plus 12 equals 16, and 12 plus 4 equals 16. If you had them flip-flop, that's okay. Just make sure you have a 4 plus 12 and a 12 plus 4. And for your subtraction, they should both start with 16, but then the order of these two could be flip-flopped. You could either have 16 minus 4 equals 12, and 16 minus 12 equals 4, or you could have the 16 minus 12 equals 4 first, and then the 4 and 12 down here. If you had that correct, give yourself a star or a smiley or both, and then turn the page. On this side, we're going to work through 1 and 2. The first thing I suggest doing is plugging in your signs. So you know you need 2 addition. They have 1 plus, so I'll do 2 pluses and 2 minuses. And I'm going to do that for both because I know I need 2 addition and 2 subtraction. That's how fact families work. Now this is kind of fun. What I'm going to do here is I know that my answer for my addition is going to be the bigger number. So for both of my addition, I'm going to put the biggest number. I'm just going to plug and chug. And I know that both of my subtraction have to start with that biggest number. So I'm going to plug it in just like that. So you take your biggest number, answer, answer, first number, first number. Now my 19's done. Now I need to put a 9 with all 4 problems. So I'll put the 9 first in this one, second in this one. I'll put it first in this one, second in this one. See how I did that? And then the last number I have is 10. So I'll plug my 10 second in this one, first in this one, second in this one, first in this one. And now I can check, is 9 plus 10, 19? Yes. Is 10 plus 9, 19? Yes. Is 19 take away 9, 10? Yes. And is 19 take away 10, 9? Yes. All right, let's take a look at number 2. What's the biggest number in our 3 numbers, Sage? 17. So 17 will be the answer to both of my additions. You can plug that in now. And it will be the first number in both of my subtractions. You can plug that in now. The biggest number will always be the answer to your additions and the first number in your subtractions. Now I'm going to take the first part, which is 6, and I'll put it first here and second here. I'll put it first here and second here. And that leaves me with what number, Ava June? 11. So I'll fill 11 in all the missing spots. So it's second here, first there, second here, first there. And then we can check 6 plus 11 is 17. 11 plus 6 is 17. 17 minus 6 is 11. And 17 minus 11 is 6. All right, let's do the problem solving. We'll skip the write about it, and then we'll be done with math for today. It says Maya wrote a fact family for 5, 6, and 11. Are all of the facts in the fact family correct? Okay, so we got to check her work. Everyone has to have a 5, a 6, and an 11. So let's start there. 5, 6, 11, yes. 5, 6, 11, yes. 5, 6, 11, yes. 5, 6, 11, yes. So far, they all have all the numbers. Now we have to check her math. Do both of her addition sentences end with the biggest number? Yes. Do both of her subtraction sentences begin with the biggest number? No. So which one did she get wrong, Amelia? The third one. She said that 6 take away 5 is 11. What should she have for that one? Austin?
11 minus 6.
There you go. So this one was wrong. She should have 11 minus 6 equals 5. Always, always, always make sure your addition have to end with the biggest number. Your subtraction have to begin with the biggest number. All right, friends at home, I hope that this helped you get your work done today. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.
Bye.